And how are you, by the way? Today I want to talk about two theories for disease. One of them being the germ theory and the other one being the terrain theory. The germ theory states that bacteria causes disease and virus, whereas the terrain theory claims that no, it is the condition of the person that is deciding whether there will be disease or not. There are arguments for both, I suppose, but I think that if you're talking about the germ theory, there is an obvious opportunity to make money and profit, since it concerns making medicine, and they are not really poor guys, are they? So also there's ego that plays a role here. I believe that back in the days Pasteur wanted to, he believed in this theory, and he wanted to put his name in the annals, so that so it's ego a little bit, right? Make no mistake, even nerds have egos, and they, it is often concerned about having your name on a paper, ambitions like everybody else. And so they're not really that concerned, perhaps, with saving mankind. The terrain theory, may be the same ego motivated idea that you want to have your name in print, but also there's not that much money to make from that idea, because it kind of decentralizes the whole thing and makes the individual responsible for their own health, which I think is a very good thing, actually, because then there's something you can do about it, rather than creating this whole system of medicine and doctors and whatnot. And by the way, mentioning doctors, this is of course my personal opinion and not medical advice, since I'm not a doctor. I believe actually in the terrain theory, and to do that I do what I always advise you to do. I use my common sense and my intuition and logic. We all know about when there's something going on, a cold, a flu, something, that some people get sick, not all, and some people get more sick than others, and some people don't get sick at all. So if it was the virus that is the root cause, or the bacteria, then everybody should be sick. And if you have disease and it's all driven by bacteria and microbes, then there should always be microbes present when you have disease, in a certain number at least. Absolutely, there are certain germs that are more virulent and more dangerous than others, and affect a larger number of the population. But there's always some that don't get hit, or get hit less hard. Even back in the days back in the Middle Ages, with the plague, the Black Death, not everybody died. A lot of people did, but not everybody. The terrain theory says that if you are fit, if you are well nourished, without being obese, if you are fit, you train, you have muscle, you get out in the sunlight, you sleep, and your diet is optimal for whatever you are. If you're a cow, it's grass. If you're a person, it's cow. In my belief, anyway. Then you will succumb this disease. You will survive, and we've seen that the last 2 years. I think very clearly that not everybody gets sick. Some people from this current virus has no symptoms at all, even if they are demonstrably infected. And other people, being old, being overweight, being diabetic, type 2 diabetes at least, they get hit very hard. Young people, children, hardly get any problems at all. So there is this terrain thing playing a role, I think, and I I believe it's a combination. You have the bacteria. We cannot and should not eradicate bacteria or germs at all, or microbes at all, because some of them are good for us. And we all know that if you get an antibiotic, it often disturbs your digestion and you have diarrhea as a consequence. So that's because you kill off the bacteria in your guts that you benefit from. So I believe it's a combination, as I said, that you have bacteria present, and if you have poor terrain, meaning if you are not in good health before the bacteria infect you at a larger number, then you will get disease. To me that's logic. I don't have the science. You can look for that everywhere. Actually there is a New Zealand doctor, she's called Sam Bailey, and she has a YouTube channel I recommend her dearly, and she has also made a book that's called Virus Mania. At least she's a co-writer. And I know she is predominantly for the terrain theory as well. And besides, if you are fit, if you sleep properly, if you eat properly, then you have nothing. You have lost nothing. You get a better life day to day, and you even get less disease when germs come along. So you have all to win and nothing to lose, really. There may be viruses that will kill you anyway, but out there somewhere, like Ebola, whatever, really bad things. But as I say, you have the tool in your own hand and you can do something about it. You can start being more healthy, and that gives you benefit day to day even, not just when there's disease around. So, yeah, well, I suppose that was what I had to say on this subject. Yeah, there's one more thing I'd like to add. You can discuss till you're blue in the face whether you should go the herbivore or the carnivore or low fat, high carb. No, you shouldn't do that. Low carb, high fat. But one thing they seem to be agreeing on is that you should eat original food. No processed food, and definitely no vegetable oils. That would be my advice, at least. Then again, you have to feel and let your body tell you what is it actually that makes you feel better. For me personally, I've heard some very convincing stories, even if it is anecdotal, that people seem to clear their guts, get better skin, many different things, positive things when they start the carnivore diet. So, these were my words. I would like you to, of course, like the video if you do so, and subscribe. And most importantly, I would like to share this so that the idea about taking care of yourself and your own life can be spread out as much as possible. There are several doctors doing this now. They have sort of done this 180 degree, where, like me, you think one thing and then suddenly there's something you can't really explain until we all used to do this calories in, calories out thing where that seems logical for some reason. You put something in, and if you use it and put something out, then you should be fine. But that's not the case. And then when you meet people like Jason Fung, Dr. Jason Fung, a nephrologist, explaining to you, as many others do, about hormones. So it is not a closed physical system that says what goes in must come out, or out anyway. And that suddenly explains a lot of things that the calories in, calories out method can only explain by saying that people are lazy and people are not doing what they're supposed to do. Which actually there's science telling for America that they have done that. They have increased their moving around, their exercise, they have decreased their fat consumption, which I don't suggest, but that's what they said. And they have generally done what was told in this food pyramid. However, more people get more fat. So, and then they used to explain, the people that are proponents of the food pyramid explain that by saying that, well, they're all liars and they are not lazy and they're not doing what they're told to do, but it is not true. So that's why 98% or more than that, perhaps even, of diets fail. People trying to lose weight, they fail. But a lot of people say that on this, again, you take charge of your own situation, and then you find out that didn't work, and instead of listening to the expert saying that you are lazy, whatever, you try something else, and boom, that works. I mean, it's not science, but maybe we should do the science, not financed by big pharma or big agriculture, but simply financed by taxpayers' money to make sure that we find out what is best for the people that pay for it. Right, so that's it. I will finish off now. Subscribe, share. You can also ask questions if you feel like it, and I'll get around to answering them if they are something I can answer, predominantly things about your teeth. Thank you for this time. See you later.
Thank you.